We're live, Jane. We're live. It's Stitchy Witchy Wednesday and we are live.
We're here.
Morning. Just about. We're hiding behind an enormous heap of fabric. Good morning and welcome to a very fabulous Stitchy Witchy Wednesday on Natasha.
A heap of fabric that I don't really want you to buy.
No. Although
I couldn't
it's gone
use
already.
Yes, I know. I was like, will there be any left, Gemma?
We've not had time to cut it yet. But for those who missed yesterday, we have the beautiful Tilda hibernation collection on pre-order. It's stunning, isn't it, Jane?
I just love it.
Beautiful.
I think this has got to be my favourite Tilda collection. There's not one I don't like, but this one, the next one will be even better, I'm sure. But this is just gorgeous.
There's not a fabric in this collection I don't like.
No.
I'm thrilled with them. They're absolutely beautiful. But maybe you did see us yesterday. We didn't have the fabrics, but you all had a little look at those images I'd put on the website and we're buying anyway. So for those who missed it, we have 32 fabrics here. We have a core collection of 20. We then have the 12 blenders over there. It feels rude to say blenders, doesn't it?
They're rather gorgeous on their own. Yes.
Because they are lovely.
I love
the
this
eucalyptus, we have the olive branch. We'll show you these. We will show you on camera. But they are available as a full collection. I think I've got one full collection bundle left. We loaded a limited number, very, very limited number, on a crazy discount. It's not something we can do for lots of bundles because otherwise there'd be no profit in any of it for us and we'll all have it at the job centre. But there's one, I think, left. So if you do love it and you want that cracking massive discount, then I'd perhaps zip over to natashamakes.com as quick as you can and get that last bundle. Aside from that, we've had colourway bundles, which we'll explain, blender bundle.
Yes.
And they've all been selling rather well, Jane. So I know some of you may want the fabric cut to order. Let's see what's left, eh?
Yeah. Is there any left?
Joking aside, I can set the button to go cut to order on individual fabrics. If that's something you want, perhaps let me know. Get that in the comments, get messaging me and say, Gemma, cut to order,
yes.
CTO, and I'll press the button and make that little bit of magic happen. But first, let's see who's with us, shall we, Jane?
Yes.
Shall we see? We have Facebook and we have comments and I can read it all, which is novel this week. We have Claire Everett, morning all. Sue says, yay, I'm here. Oh, Jimmy's around as well, apparently.
Evening, Jimmy.
Can't I can see Jimmy's comment yet. Here we go. There we are. I saw someone speaking to Jimmy.
Oh, right.
Before I saw Jimmy.
They're chatting to him already. That's lovely.
Debbie says good morning to us both. Good morning to you, Debbie. Oh, Vicky's watching as well. She says, morning, lovely ladies. We've got a date after the show with some of Vicky's fabrics, working out what we can...
Oh, right, lovely.
...for a quilt for her. I've picked her bundle up, brought it with me and everything.
Oh, lovely.
Nancy says, good morning all from Victoria, Australia. It's evening for them now. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes. Lots of people watching. Sylv says, morning. Ooh, you're surrounded by bolts of beautifulness.
Yes.
Aren't we just?
Stroking it while it's still here.
I know. These aren't the only thing we need to stroke while they're still here, Jane.
Mm-hmm.
Because the last collection of Tilda that we had very little left. In fact, I don't think you can see it on the shelf.
Can you see this little pile here?
That is all we have left from the last collection. That is it. And we've bolt-ended that. I stayed late last night. I've bolt-ended those. Literally, it is a grab me now or lose me forever situation.
Oh, there's some gorgeous ones left there.
Yeah.
Not very big pieces,
No.
I can see.
I think the biggest piece is 3 metres. There's quite a few around the 2 to 3 metre mark, and then there's a few small ones as well. So great stash builders. Some might be good for backing quilts if you get a nice big piece, bit of dressmaking, all sorts of stuff there. So yes.
Lovely.
I'd grab those while you can.
Yes.
But we are surrounded with beautifulness. You're quite right. Oh, Betty's with us. Auntie Lizzie's with us as well. Good morning to you and Pam and Julia. Jane said, I told myself I was not to order any of the new Tilda as I still haven't used what I bought from the last collection. Oh well, never mind.
We've told you, haven't we? Buying fabric and using it, 2 different hobbies.
Correct.
2 different hobbies, yes.
Vicky's on today and I was explaining to her son the other day. He has got a rabbit and it needed a little repair. So I was rummaging through my stash. And
not a real rabbit,
out.
we must
No. A cuddly rabbit. A well-loved cuddly rabbit.
Yes.
And I was rummaging through to see if I'd got something similar, which reminds me, Vic, I have. Got it from here, out of the scrap bin. But yeah, I was pulling bits out and he's going, how much fabric have you got? And I said, this is not a question you should ever ask a lady, thank you very much.
No.
I said, and it brings me joy. He said, but what's the point? You'll never use it all. I said, no, I will. But also things like this happen where I have to find a specific thing, and the more I've got, the more I can get out and say, there it is.
Yeah.
But also I get joy from bringing it out and saying, I could do this, this and this with it. Stroking it,
Yes.
putting it back
And then
again.
putting it back neatly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Tasha's got this habit as well of coming up with brilliant patterns and me going, I've got just the fabric for that.
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't
No.
have my stash.
This is it. We all need a good stash.
This is very, very, very
Yes.
true, Jane.
Always comes in handy.
And it is rude to ask a lady how large her stash is. Just saying.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot to learn, that young man, for sure.
He's only 12.
So yes, don't feel ashamed of adding to your Tilda. And also, what I love about Tilda, I've got some really, really old Tilda.
Yeah,
I mean,
me
really,
too.
really, really old. And the
Yes.
great thing is you pull that out, you put it next to the new stuff.
And it all
Because,
blends.
yeah, because the colour palette that she works to is just so consistent.
Yes.
It looks brilliant. Mixed
Yeah,
and matched.
you could start a hexi quilt and just keep
Yeah.
adding
Yeah.
to it
Exactly.
because it would go on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the lovely things about Tilda's fabric, isn't it? That the colour palette just goes every time
It
with the
does.
previous collection.
We will go overhead in a moment to have a look at these, but there are several of these that really lend themselves to...
Oh,
good
hi,
morning,
Maeve.
Studio Dog Mabel. She's come in to put herself in her bed. Can't understand.
Hi.
Hello. Can't understand why I'm not sat there where she puts her feet. You're going to have to go out with your mum. I know, you can't come up here because you're nowhere near the fabric right now, but yeah, you can't get near it. Go on, away. There are several of these that lend themselves really well to hexies and to fussy cutting as well. We have beautiful areas on several of these that you can just go,
Oh yeah,
that would be great.
yes,
Or the top of a pincushion.
yeah.
I'm really excited about this collection, can you tell?
I know it is. There's a lot of potential with it. The
Yes.
fabrics are gorgeous,
Yes.
gorgeous.
But 1/4 metre increment bundles is what we have available at the moment. And if you get one of those, it'd be great for your EPP stash. But if you want 1/2 metres but a specific colourway, maybe you want to get, 3/4 of a metre of each. If you're buying it by the 1/4 metre increment, we will cut it as a continuous length. So if you buy one of these, you'll get 5 1/4 metres. You buy 2, 5 1/2 metres, 3, 5 lots of 75 centimetres,
Yeah.
and 4, you'll get 5
Metre.
metres.
Yes,
Who wouldn't want 5 metres of a lovely, lovely, lovely Tilda?
yes.
Yeah, Vicky, he did. I think he said that the stash would outlive me.
Mm.
I don't see a problem with this.
No.
See?
It's called stable.
Yeah.
It's something to do with stash
Yeah.
that lives longer than your.
Which is fine, because that's my legacy.
Yeah.
Someone else will inherit some beautiful things I didn't get around to using. YouTube, are you there and can you see us as well? Let's have a little peep. Yes, Cynthia's with us as well. And Tricia says, morning all, weather check from Liverpool. Meh. But
Yeah.
she can't wait for the Peeping Toms demo.
We've got Storm. Is it Storm Anthea coming or somebody?
No.
Somebody's coming. We're going to be in for a
Oh.
hoolie. Yes.
Well, she can have a word with herself because I'm not in the mood.
No.
None of that. No.
No.
Having said that, autumnal days, snuggling up under quilts, sitting and doing some sewing because my garden doesn't need as much attention,
Yes.
battening down the hatches, something in the slow cooker for dinner.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Just ideal.
Spot on. Apparently there's one coming.
Oh,
It's
What
on
did you
its
say her
way.
name was? Anthea.
I think it begins with A. I might have the wrong name. They were talking about it this morning. Yeah.
Anthea is not the most stormy.
Well,
It's
wasn't
not-
the last one called Nigel or something?
Yeah. It's not the most terrifying, is it?
No.
Maybe
No.
you're staying in here.
No. Yeah, Mabel's put herself in her studio bed, so that's fine. She's over there.
Yeah, she just
now.
came to make sure that Gemma
Bless her.
knew that she was here,
Yeah, she
really.
just came to report in, and then she's the most obedient member of staff, I feel. Yeah. She went to
And
Scottish Trainer
child.
bed. And child, yes.
Yeah.
Natasha's here, everybody.
Morning.
Hopefully, because she's got her big voice, you'll hear her, despite lack of mic.
She's got a Mariella Frostrop type voice on today.
She has.
We're all a bit husky.
Those children have given you all their germs, haven't they?
Yes.
Oh, Storm Agnes.
Agnes.
Even better. Sounds terrifying, doesn't it?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Sue Langford
It's an
says,
amber alert, so she's quite vicious.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Amber Agnes.
Yeah.
Have a word with her. Sue
Yes.
says, I, on the other hand, want an Egyptian burial. I want my machine and my stash in with me. I'm collecting for the afterlife.
Good plan.
Okay.
Not a bad plan, is it? Take it with you. They say you can't take it with you. Maybe you can.
Who
Loud
knows?
and clear, apparently, Tash.
Hey!
Becky says, morning everyone, I'm a little late today. What is the loveliness I see there? Is it a Tilda stash? It is. It's a beautiful Tilda stash. Didn't you have a meeting at 10:10, madam?
quarter past. But I just want to say about.
All right,
I'm just
come
gonna
on,
come in.
speak into a mic.
I'm just
She
gonna
doesn't
continue
need to.
I'm on dress down Wednesday. The half metre heavens that we've got to show you today, they are absolutely gorgeous, brand new in fabrics. The rest of the collection is all allocated to kits, so this is all we can offer you by the half metre. It's very stunning, isn't it?
It's really beautiful.
It's really stunning,
gorgeous.
and that will be live at midnight tonight. But these are absolutely gorgeous. We need to crack on so that I can get cutting these
Yes.
after my meeting. And there was one lady that said that she wanted the brown, but it wasn't available
as a bundle.
But I think you loaded some more, didn't you?
I did load some more of the bundles, and I do believe everyone wants to see these by the half metre. So shall I press the button?
Go on
Tash?
then.
Shall I
Yeah,
press the button?
press the button.
All right. It is going live.
I'm off.
All 32 SKUs
Yay!
by the half metre.
Enjoy!
All right. You ask, then we shall. That is what we shall do.
Yes.
Just going to press the button and make sure it's done its thing, because, you know, you say it, you get a great fanfare, and then, no.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, it's doing its thing. I can see it. So if you go to our website, natashamakes.com, you can click on the Watch Live page, or you can click Workshop Wednesday. Make sure you click View All and scroll down, and you will see all 32 fabrics, the bundles. You will see whatever's left of the Boltons, and there weren't very many. The only thing on today's show that you will not see is the half metre heavens, because as Tash rightly says, those go live at midnight tonight. Jane, you've got two projects for us today, really.
Yes, it's a cushion, but you could use the cushion front as a block.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to show you how to do a concealed zip.
Yeah, cushion finishing.
Because some
with flair.
people are a bit scared of zips.
Yeah.
And I've just realised I didn't bring any zip in with me.
Did you not?
No.
What a nana. We'll find out whether the boss is doing her job now, whether she's listening to the show. Because you diligently, when she's doing her show, you sit there, don't you? You listen.
I do.
And you think, oh, she needs this, and then you run.
Yes.
Scuttle.
There is
So-
I don't know, 30-second delay or something.
Yeah.
No, not that quite that long.
Continuous zip on a roll? Or
Any zip. Any
Okay.
zip. As long as it's
Natasha.
more than 15 inches long.
Natasha, she would like a zip, but she wants more than 15 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
Don't
Thank
give
you
her a
very
skilly
much.
little bit. She doesn't want a little bit. She wants more than 15 inches. There we go. Let's see if she's listening, shall we? And if not, I'm going to get SJ to give her a nudge. You listening, SJ? Find out if SJ's listening as well now,
Yeah.
won't we?
Either that or we put you overhead and I'll go and whiz and get one.
Or vice versa.
Yes.
What we'll do then is we'll switch the cameras to overhead, because it's been too long now of us talking. You need to see these
You
gorgeous
need to see
fabrics.
these beautiful fabrics.
Here we go.
It's called hibernation,
It is.
and you've got lots of snoozing animals tucked away in the undergrowth, and autumnal colours and foliage. This is beautiful. This is autumn bloom, and this is the sage colourway. Look at that. It's got flowers and leaves, daisy
lovely.
print. This is in the green, sage.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It's lovely. And actually, when you look at it from a distance, overall, can you see that very faint diagonal running through that?
Yeah, you can, can't
So
you?
that's going to give you a nice...
Hey, what do you need? Well done.
A piece of zip.
At least 15 inches, did you say?
Yeah, 17 would be best, please.
Any kind of zip?
Yeah,
Is this for the cushion?
yes.
Ah, want it.
Bless her.
Marvellous.
Wonderful.
Hey, get the staff now. This is good.
It's lovely.
Crack on, boss.
So, I just love this. It's got little, like, harebells and then daisies and then, like, the maple autumnal leaves running through it. It's very pretty. Very pretty. Are we going to put these on the shelves after we've...
Yes, please. That'd be great.
Let's just
Jane,
move
I'm
it.
going to read what Tilda had to say
Yes.
about the fabulous,
While I make
fabulous
clunky
fabrics.
noises in the
While you make
background.
some clunky noises in the background, because this collection is beautiful. Really beautiful.
Thank you
They
very much,
say
Natasha.
sleeping animals and nature motifs is the theme for this year's autumn and winter collection hibernation. The designs are inspired by the arts and crafts movement, with lighter elements on a dark background and a layered look, perfect for autumn and winter projects. Dusty colours such as nutty browns, hibiscus reds, blues and sage give the collection a timeless vintage look. Get ready for your own hibernation feeling, safe and warm, and lush quilts with motifs from the slumber mouse, sleepy bird and squirrel dream fabrics. I have to see what everyone's
Gorgeous.
favourite is between mouse, bird and squirrel.
Yes. I know what mine is.
Yep, and then you've got the simple hibernation blenders with eucalyptus and olive branches that perfectly complement their main collection, with some making great backgrounds.
This is Winter Rose Sage, and I'm glad you said it's got an arts and craft movement feel to it.
It really does.
Because this, almost Morrissey, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Really lovely.
Lovely, like dog rose and the winding stems. Lovely. Again on the sage, which is this lovely pink colour with the green. And she's got these two lovely, these are the eucalyptus blenders. The green with that. There's two colourways. There's like beige, the sage and the Lafayette.
Yeah, really nice.
Which pick up the greens beautifully in there. But there's also the hibiscus, which would pick up the
There's
pinky colour.
Neutrals as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, there's just so many here that are just fabulous.
Just gorgeous, aren't they?
But then that, you know, you can always rely on there being perfect blenders within a Tilda collection.
Yeah.
And I've noticed some of you are picking your favourite colourway of the main prints, but then you're buying the blender bundle because you know they're going to work through perfectly.
Yeah.
If you get a complete blender bundle, you're not going to be stuck for something to match up with it.
I think we need to go close up.
Oh,
with
hello,
the-
sleepy mouse.
This little dozing dormouse, slumber mouse hazel this is. I think this colourway, this hazel colourway, might possibly be people's favourite. We've got this lovely, our misty blue would look fabulous with this
Really would.
greeny colour here. Look at him,
Now,
got
this
feet
particular
and his
print, Jane,
hands.
If you look for the logo, for the graphic that they've done for this collection, that is the feature fabric that they've chosen to
Yes.
sort of symbolise the whole collection.
Yeah, it's got the more autumnal colourway. There's a lovely sort of peachy pink going on here with the berries, and this lovely tans and beiges for the little dormouse.
It is difficult often to find really beautiful autumnal colours.
Yes,
To get it right can
but
be
look
challenging.
at, we can see that together with the, this is the Winter Rose in that hazel collection. So you can see that one is quite predominantly the blue colour, but it's got the hazel colour running in the vines, and the peachy pink in the middle of the roses matches the peachy pink in his ears and feet.
Look at the difference
It's
between
beautiful.
the sort of vibrance of the green collection and colourway versus these here.
Yeah. This
The
is a
same
much
print.
more softer
Yeah,
autumnal tone way, isn't it?
yeah. The same print, and yet you get a completely different effect from it.
And then you've got the eucalyptus olive branch, which I might be using a little bit of today to make my Peeping Toms with. But they just blend beautifully. And then
It's
within
very
the
beautiful eucalyptus. Yeah,
eucalyptus,
there it is.
there is a gorgeous blender there.
It's a lovely blue as well, isn't there? Very
Yeah,
similar to that.
this is the eucalyptus beige,
I think it's got a
which-
similar background colour.
and there's
Blue.
well, there's a blue eucalyptus,
There it is.
which looks lovely, but also there's sand, which actually picks up when you put that with the little dormouse.
Really
Look,
lovely.
it's a similar colourway to that.
You're sport for choice on these, aren't you? Because
Well,
you've
they
got so
just-
many wonderful blenders.
This is how well all of Tilda's fabrics blend together, because that's the eucalyptus sand with the Squirrel Dreams hibiscus, which is more of a plummy colourway. But that blender there still works beautifully with this squirrel one. So the blender as well, of course, they're going to, aren't they? It's the same colour palette. I've seen this squirrel. Look at him snoozing in the branches of the oak tree. And then there's acorns in amongst there. This is the hibiscus colourway, which is sort of like plums and reds. Absolutely stunning.
Really lovely, aren't they?
Really beautiful. I'm just going to put these two up out of the way. I'm going to clunk and clunk while I move the baskets on here, on this shelf. This is just lovely. The squirrel. And again, within the olive branch, there's the old rose. Okay, well, that goes with that hibiscus. Just picks up the background colour beautifully with that. Works really well. But again, if we did the winter rose blue, look at that with that.
That's a fabulous
It pulls
pink,
those
isn't it?
pinks out beautifully. They just all work. And this is the eucalyptus sand again. They just all work.
There is
because
a colourway, Jane, of this winter rose that I don't think would be fantastic for cosmetics bags and those
oh
lovely
gosh,
small
yes,
makes
you
as
know,
well.
all the little tiny makes.
Yeah.
Natasha's done several, hasn't she, recently, of the little wallets and the pouches. They're all going to look beautiful with that.
Well, the gift card wallet that she did yesterday looked great with it.
Look, there's the Sleepy Bird Lafayette, the green colourway.
Should go overhead. That make life easy.
And that again, with that olive branch old rose. See how that picks up the mushrooms in there. It's got these beautiful spotted toadstools
Similarly,
and berries in there.
That fabric with all those, that Sleepy Bird will look great with everything that's in the plum, hibiscus, mulberry colourway.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, you've got, if you put the squirrels from the hibiscus and the Sleepy
I'm going
Birds.
to go overhead, Jane, so you don't have to keep...
Yeah. It just pulls. I like the close-up because you can see how it pulls the
I'm
colours.
just very aware of your shoulder.
Yes.
There we go.
But, you know, look at that. They work so well together.
So I kind of want to know if everyone's team squirrel, team bird, or team mouse, because I'm struggling.
It is a difficult one. It is a
squirrels
difficult
for me
one.
Are so sweet.
It's
I love them all.
they're gorgeous. They are gorgeous. Look at the little
And Jane, the one that you've got in your hand there, I just think if you get really clever with your hexie placement, or if you make a pin cushion and have that as the top, I mean, you would feel slightly terrible putting your pins into the little sleeping mouse, but I don't think you'd mind too much.
You'd have to put them around him, wouldn't you?
It's lovely though, isn't it?
It's just really sweet. It is so lovely. Really gorgeous. I love the green colourway. I think it's lovely and fresh. But I also love this gorgeous, this is called pecan. The Sleepy Birds on here is called pecan. It's got this gorgeous, gorgeous blue in there on the bird's wings. It looks rather nice with the, I'm trying to see if there's a sort of a plummy blue colour. This one here is lavender. Look at that, that's orange, olive branch lavender with that. So lovely, so pretty. It's going to make gorgeous quilts, little projects.
Claire says she's struggling with all the beautifulness. We know that feeling, Claire, and I find the easiest way to deal with it is just to have it.
Have it all. Just have it all. The brown colourway I think will be the most popular. I really do. So because it's such an autumnal tones, and at the moment we're all feeling like we're all going into autumn, don't we? This little olive branch blush. This looks rather lovely with the Slumber Mouse denim. Look at that with the three colourways. You've got the old rose behind, and then the blush, and then the Slumber Mouse denim. His little grey mouse with these lovely pink leaves and berries. It is just stunning.
Love it. You've got so many options, haven't you?
Yeah. All the fabrics go beautifully.
You need to pull any quilt pattern together with these. It's just really straightforward to see which ones will blend beautifully. But if you are confused, maybe you are, looking to buy a particular feature print, perhaps you fall in love with the squirrels or the mice, and you need a good chunk for a quilt, but then you need some other blenders to go with. If you pop some blenders in your basket, put a note on your order to say, can Jane just cast an eye at them and make sure that, they're the right ones?
Yeah.
We can have a look.
We will always do that for you.
If it needs a little tweak, we can let you know. We can swap them over for you.
You see that with that? And again, you've got the eucalyptus sand behind. The three of those look lovely together, don't they? There's so many options. The colours are all I think I would have to buy the whole collection.
Joy's just said, my stash has come up on Facebook as Moustache. And we've got one of those as well.
Yes. I work constantly
The
fighting
beauty
those.
of the menopause. Tweezers are our friend in this building.
Magnifying mirror and tweezers
Oh,
in situ in the
dear.
bathroom.
Deary me.
We love it, don't we? We love it.
Oh, we do.
It all adds to the fun of a work
You know
environment.
what, there is absolutely no point, is there, in being pretentious?
Nope.
We're real people. Thank
Real.
you very much.
We're honestly...
Oh, Jane, she's putting these fabrics up beautifully behind you, everybody. So you'll be able to see a gorgeous
I want you to
display.
see the beautifulness of these. Yeah.
I'm just going to lay some fabric out for everyone to have a peep at because I love these little squirrels.
They're gorgeous.
So just to give you an idea of the scale of the print as well.
That's the eucalyptus, they're light blue. Just pulls out the blues in the squirrel.
Squirrel's so sleepy, he's off the screen.
Yeah.
There's some really fabulous eggplant print. There's
Yes.
all sorts, isn't there, in the blenders? You've got the lavender, you've got all sorts going on.
And hibiscus with that. Look at those two together with the squirrel. That is gorgeous.
Can you imagine Natasha being all over these with the bundles, all the bundles? Can you
Oh yeah.
She'll be throwing them around everywhere and getting very
That
excitable.
that green olive branch is just lovely.
That's fresh with just about everything, isn't it?
It is. It's gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. I'm just going to stick that on top of the green because I love it. I do like green.
You do, don't you? I'm a
Yes.
green person as well.
Greens
Both
and
like
blues are
green.
my... Turquoise is my favourite. Look at that with that. Because the little
Really
dormouse, he's got
pretty.
blue... He's grey, but it's blue tone grey
Yeah.
on that lovely plum.
That
That
look
is...
really nice with the blush.
Yes, it's called plum. Slump
Yeah.
mouse plum.
The blush olive branch as well.
Yeah.
Underneath that one. They look great.
You could put the three of those together. In fact,
Really
you could
nice
have the
delicate
full,
bundle, wouldn't it?
because you've got this one as well.
Ah.
Whoop, there we go.
Yeah, that's good actually, that eucalyptus. Crikey, how will we ever choose, everybody? Well, the answer is, get them all!
Yeah, don't choose, just have everything.
I think it does
Treat
help.
yourself. Right, let's get this plum
Oh,
colourway.
bless you, Michelle. Michelle
On
says,
the
sorry
shelf.
I'm late. Jem and Jane, the gorgeous duo, showing the gorgeous Tilda. What a day to be late. Oh, bless you.
Oh, you can always look back on catch up. Don't
You
forget,
can.
it's all, we're on YouTube forever.
Sylv's on, forever and ever. Can't get rid of us. Sylv's on my page says, oh, stop now. The sleepy squirrels are too cute. They really are. Those, the mice, the birds, they're all adorable. I can't decide which is sweeter.
They are just lovely, and the subtle difference between the colourways in the little mice
Yeah.
is just lovely.
And the autumn bloom has got all the colours in all the world to go with. So
Yes.
it's a great floral to go with any of them.
Really lovely.
Really
I made a
nice.
mess of that. Never mind. There we go.
Oh, we're doing that thing again where we're saying lovely about everything.
Yes, everything's
Yeah.
lovely.
We've got told off for that before, Jane. We must find some new adjectives, but I'm afraid when we're surrounded by loveliness, then we're going to tell you that it is, in fact, lovely.
It is lovely.
Over on YouTube, Cynthia says the fabric is coming across my screen very clearly. I could only imagine how beautiful they are in real life. I'm glad you've said that, Cynthia, because that is the perpetual problem that we have here at Natasha Mates. It's just showing you how gorgeous things are in real life.
It is difficult.
It never carries across enough on a screen. It just
And
doesn't.
the trouble is, different screens come across with different colours,
do.
don't they?
They do.
So you'll see,
But you know, Tilda, you can trust.
Yes.
Because the colour palette is the colour palette, and it's always absolutely stunning. It's got a real elegance to it,
absolutely.
and
It's
looks more
just
premium
gorgeous.
somehow. I mean, I always say about the Tilda, I say about the Tilda reds, Jane.
Yes.
That to me is the mark of it, because there's no brashness to a Tilda red. It's just that fabulous,
It's gorgeous.
soft, really expensive looking colour. I can't explain it. It's stunning.
That was my toe.
You'll see here we have the Boltons. I am going to let Jane very quickly flick through these, although many have already sold.
This
If you
is,
see one, do you like it, and it's there, grab it quick. They are 25% off today, all of these.
it's 2.5 metre
We need
here.
room on the shelf, don't we?
We do. We've got
Tilda
to make
shelves.
room.
Tilda shelves have
We're,
got a new
we're
collection
supposed
go
to
there
be
now.
clearing the warehouse out, and we've had some most gorgeous fabrics.
We've had so many fabrics delivered, it's ridiculous.
Crazy.
But
It's gorgeous.
we need room on the shelves, so help us.
Yes.
This one is available.
This is cotton bloom Paprika.
Yeah.
It's a lovely, rich, warm pink colour.
Yes, it will not be there
2.5
long.
metres.
Nice size that, Jane.
It is. It's a good size. A nice blender, that is. This is the Garden Vista Iris.
Gone.
Has it gone?
Yeah.
Well, I won't show you that then.
Sorry.
I love this Garden Vista. She's a very 1930s, 40s lady in a kimono.
Lovely.
This is Bloomsville's A Bloom Pink. I love the vibrancy of these A Bloom prints.
They're great.
They're supposed to be blenders, but I think they would work beautifully on their own.
Natasha has made the most fabulous bags with these, and they are so impactful. They're great.
They're just gorgeous fabrics in their own right. They're all, there's 1.25 metre. This one, the Iris one is 2 metre piece. The plum one is 1.1 metres, so just over a metre.
That one's
There's-
gone.
But the mushroom,
Yep, gone.
that's a very popular one. That was very nice, that one.
Very popular.
And we've got the tomato. I love the tomato. Look at
I
that.
do. I really like that.
Look
And it
at-
goes with some of these other prints so well as well.
Look at that
Look at you.
tomato with this Times olive branch.
And actually, the other
The
one
plum,
that you've got next
yeah.
to it, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
This is what we say about Tilda's colour palette.
Yeah.
They all work beautifully
You
together.
grab these blenders, they are going to go really well with other fabrics that you have that are from Tilda. That one's gone, Jane, the Flower Market Plum.
I'm not surprised. They are
So
gorgeous.
don't be laying that out, no
The-
point.
The other thing about Tilda is it's a beautiful base cloth. It's got a nice quilting weight fabric cotton to it,
Yes.
and it's a lovely weave.
So well done to whoever got this one, it's a beauty. But she's
We've
gone.
got some of the a bloom, Dijon. Love that. Look at that with that blue. So vibrant, gorgeous. We
That's one
have
as well.
mustard.
Gone.
Not surprised. That one was my favourite. I think.
Me too.
Um,
We generally choose the same
petrol,
ones, don't we?
cotton bloom petrol. That's gorgeous. I love this. This
I
is
do
a pretty
too.
fabric. So versatile. Use that with anything.
2 metres, that one. That one's gone as well, Jane.
Yeah. Not surprised. Flower Market is a lovely pattern.
Yeah.
This is the Flower Market
too.
blueberry. Gone.
Well done, you.
Sky. Look at that. Look at those two together.
Now these
Just-
two, look at them.
Gorgeous. They are gorgeous. Just trying to look at the. Yeah, it's such a lovely, vibrant yellow. That is.
So those
lovely.
Boltons are on the website and they are live now and available to purchase apart from the ones I've already said are sold. If you've got one in your basket, there are only one of each, so do not dilly-dally. Just because it's in your basket doesn't mean it's yours.
No.
If it's
You
in
have
your
to be
basket
quick.
and it's in someone else's basket and they check it out, it's theirs and you've lost your chance. What we're going to show you next are the half metre heavens. These go live at midnight tonight. Jane, first up is the very last of the Garden Vista, which Natasha has put with jade.
Look at that. Just picks out her kimono beautifully there. She's such a lovely lady.
It really is.
She really is. Beautiful. Beautiful. Be quick with that. There's not many of those left.
Nope.
I was going to say something and it's gone out of my head.
That's all right. I grabbed this one, Jane, because I thought with all the fabric pumpkining that's going on,
Yes.
that would make some fabulous fabric pumpkins.
Wouldn't it?
Mhm.
And with the purple.
Especially if you've got the trio that Natasha was doing the other week with the
Purple
with the
velvet.
purple
And
velvet, etc. And the blue and the they just look. I'm trying to see the purple one.
it's,
Typical, isn't it?
I think it was being used by somebody
Oh.
of a hairy nature. Was in her bed this morning.
No, she's stolen it. But you can imagine, can't you, having a bowl full and then having...
Yeah,
Look great, wouldn't it?
would look stunning.
So this is the last. We have 2 of these. That's it. Then it's gone.
Yes, be quick. At midnight tonight. We know you people that sit there at midnight waiting.
We do. We do. Just one each of these next 2, and they are fabric that we thought had all gone. We'd got one little unit hidden away.
This is from the Lewis and Irene Secret Garden. This is so cute.
Now, we sold these as half metre heavens before they flew out. So I have just one of each. That is it. Last
the
chance to buy.
fox and the robin and the little rabbits, look. And the secret garden gate. It's a gorgeous fabric.
Wonderful.
And we've put that one with cyan, which is a lovely blue, which picks up the hollyhocks, I want to say they are.
Now
This-
these, yeah.
Robin floral.
Yeah, we have just the
The
one.
ribbon.
Again, that's another one that I think you can fussy cut and use.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
make a top of a pin cushion with that. Look great.
Super.
These next bunch are the ones that Natasha mentioned earlier. So this is Nouveau Lily in pink. This one isn't from the same collection as the others, but it will, I think, also be kitted. I'm not sure that you're going to get the chance to buy this one cut to order. Natasha's put it with peach.
That just looks lovely. This is such a restful colourway. Look at that. It's so classic.
Yes.
Beautiful poppy-like flowers, aren't they, with little primroses. Very
Really
arts and crafts sort of styly.
Yes, again, it's and the
It's a
same with
classic.
these actually that we're about to come to here. So these
Good to
are.
sneeze, excuse me.
It's all right. These next few are from the Macawa Luxe collection. As Natasha said, all of the Luxe is assigned to kits, all of it. This here that we've put out is the only opportunity you're going to get to buy a ½ metre of it. So this here is the damask birds in navy.
Can we go close up on this? Because
We can.
it's called Luxe and it has a luxurious feel to it. There is
does.
metallic in here, just on the accents of the flowers and in the bird. On his breast there, it's got little pebbles and there's butterflies. It's got a gold metallic accent to it. It is just gorgeous.
Great, isn't it?
Beautiful colours. And that's with
Paprika.
which brings out those orange tones in there beautifully.
It really does. This is large floral in pink. Jane, we're loving the metallic on these, aren't we? Like you say, you've got your birds here as well as your floral and your butterflies, little dragonfly as well.
It's just a nice subtle accent on some of the flowers, not all over, just on some of the flowers, on the butterflies, a little bit on the bird.
Really lovely.
It's very subtle. A nice shimmer to your fabric.
Tasha's put sage with this.
Gorgeous.
Doesn't it look great?
Yeah.
And
Really
you
pulls
notice
those plums then.
Yeah, you notice then the little hints of sage. You know, the little eye, etc.
Yeah.
It's all going on.
It's lovely. Lovely.
Nice choice, Tash.
I'd only
have
seen
it
these in the box. I hadn't actually had a
know.
chance to open them out
We
and
had a
look
play
at
with
them.
yesterday when you'd gone.
Oh, look at that
But
with
yeah.
the blue.
Now, it's great, isn't it? It's
Yes.
large floral in navy. Gorgeous. Again, same print as before. Navy colourway, doesn't it look different?
Yeah,
It's gone with terracotta.
look at that.
Looks
With
great
the
with paprika
and the
Looks
terracotta.
great with the sage.
Yeah.
Looks great with the terracotta. You know, there's so much going on in here. It's a really versatile print, isn't it?
It is. It's beautiful.
It's going to go with all your different planes. But that that terracotta just gave you that depth, didn't it?
Yeah, there's just a little
Yeah.
subtle hint on the wings and in the shading in the flowers, and it really pulls it
Yeah, makes it pop.
out.
There's
It's
a
gorgeous.
third colourway of the large floral, Jane. We've had the pink, we've had the navy. This is the cream.
Nice.
Oh. And what Natasha's done with this one, and so you could, oh, it's upside down, isn't it? That's no good to man or beast, is it? She's this time put a blue with it. So if you were buying all of them,
Yeah,
You've
they
got-
would all work
yeah,
beautifully.
they'll all mix and match great. This one here is cadet blue. I love the cadet blue with it.
Picks it up beautifully.
it?
But look how nicely the cadet works with that navy
Yeah.
as well. And
Exactly.
even with that colourway,
Yeah.
because it's just in
It's
there.
found. Yeah.
So if you bought all three, you'd have a nice quilt going on.
You would. So earlier we saw the damask birds in navy. We also have the damask birds in pink.
Oh, they're
Completely
pretty.
different feel to it
Yes.
to that one over there.
You can see that there's more colour in the blue
Yeah.
one, but this gives such a rich overall pattern.
What I like about this one is the birds are almost hidden. You've got this fabulous pattern that looks kind of boho chic, and then suddenly you see them.
When you look at this overhead, it's almost got like a kaleidoscope effect to it.
Same, Jane. You're
It's
absolutely
gorgeous.
right.
Gorgeous.
Isn't it? And she's put this one with magenta. Now I love a bit of magenta.
That works so well with that,
Yeah.
with those lovely rich oranges, and then that magenta pulls all of that out. It's gorgeous.
Stunning. We then have some butterflies, and I know there's a lot of you that love a butterfly.
Love
This
a butterfly.
is butterflies in green, and again, as Jane said earlier, all of these have got those metallic elements, and what you can't see so well on camera is the fact that every single one of these butterflies has got this very delicate metallic detailing. I don't know whether it will show on a close-up, Jane.
We can try it.
It's
We
the
can
one
give
thing
it a
we
go.
struggle with is trying to get you to see
We give it
little tiny metallic accents, but there we go, you can see it.
just
At the
about
top.
see.
The top here, you can see, there you go, can you see?
Just gives it a shimmer.
And it's just so pretty.
It gives a richness to the fabric as well. And Makawa use such a lovely base cloth on their fabrics.
They do, and I think that little accent on the edge of the butterflies just makes them jump out a little.
It does,
gives a
yeah.
3D look to it. Look at that. Yes.
Nice.
Pomegranate or sangria?
Looks like sangria to me, but we could be wrong. Yes, it is sangria.
Yeah, lovely. Oh, we've got some pomegranates up next, actually. Now this, no one will be surprised, is my favourite fabric in the collection. This is the
look at that paisley.
I love a paisley. I will have it in all colours, thank you very much. The gold on here is next level. This is opulence,
It
is
is.
it not?
It is so rich.
Natasha's put this with the pomegranate.
Look at these
It would
together.
look gorgeous.
Look at those.
With all the things. But yeah, mixing, matching those in a project.
You could just add that one in there as well. Very nice.
Just to reiterate, these are only going to be available as these half-metre heavens, and then they'll be in kits. We don't have a lot of this fabric. It's all assigned to kits. The last one to show you, going live at midnight tonight, is Butterflies in Cream.
That's so pretty.
They're a lovely base cloth, aren't they, these
Yeah.
colours? And that's gone with moss.
That's rather lovely because there's a lovely rich green in there,
Yes.
and the moss and that with the gold elements, just very, very sophisticated.
Absolutely. So Jane, I feel like we've spoiled everyone already. We do have the Tilda cut to order. We have it in bundles. We have the old Tilda Boltons if there's any left. We've got these going live at midnight tonight, which are our half-metre heavens.
Lots of choice.
And now we've got a show.
Yes,
It's all going on, Jane.
it's all going on.
It is.
We've got two
so
lovely
we have
kits.
two potential kits. This is for your Peeping Toms.
Yes.
Now I've called it Peeping Toms plural because there's two of them.
There's two
Not
little.
just one Peeping Tom, Jane. We have two.
This
And
is
they're
it.
watching you with their little beady eyes, aren't they?
Natasha's found these lovely eyes that are cat's eyes. We can go close up.
Yeah,
Gems.
of course we can.
They're like the toy safety eyes, so they go through your fabric, and there's a washer on the back that clips to the back, so they're very securely held on there. That'll wash. Maybe not give it to a child
No.
without supervision, just in case, but they are very firmly on there.
Jane, we've not put the eyes in the kit in case people want to use buttons or to hand stitch on their own eyes, or
Yes.
want to use
If
something.
you want to make it for a child, you might want to use an appliqué eye.
Bit of
Up to you.
felt,
It's entirely up to you.
Exactly.
We've used embroidery thread to make whiskers on there, and again we haven't put that in the kit, but
A lot of people have got black embroidery
could
thread. You
decide-
might want to use something else.
Yeah.
You want to do something else.
yeah, you might use something
You might want
else.
to do some decorative stitches to create your whiskers.
Absolutely. This is such a quick, fun block to make. So simple. It's just half square triangles and squares
I've gone forward now.
and rectangles.
There we go.
There we go.
Yeah, it's not a complicated.
It's not a complicated one. You could just make the block. You could make several of them and make it into quite a fun quilt.
That'd be so
The
cool.
sashing in between the blocks. Yeah, I did a very simple border edged round it.
Yeah, I love them. What I'd like to see actually is blocks made with a different, say, cave fabric in each block. So you've got two
Absolutely.
cats in the same cave fabric and then two cats
Yeah,
again.
you imagine it in like a rainbow
Yeah.
going
It'd
through.
be great.
Gorgeous.
But similarly, this pattern, if you've got it in your armoury, you could do this with plains or batiks, and like you say, you could have a rainbow of cats,
Yeah,
couldn't you?
absolutely. It's
Colours
just
to match your colour scheme.
it's a
whatever.
very simple, basic shape that gives you the impression of. It's
Jane?
just fun.
It makes a 12-inch block.
Yes,
You've made this in then to a 17-inch cushion.
yes,
If you made, say, 4 blocks and sashed it there, it'd be quite a nice lap size, wouldn't it,
Yeah,
for a little one?
absolutely.
Or maybe
Play
6
quilts,
and you've
yeah.
got sort of a cot
you can keep
size
on
or-
going.
Nice.
You've got enough fabric in your kit to make one cushion front and back, and with the borders. You might have a bit more left over, but you wouldn't. You could probably make 2 blocks, but no more. So the kit contains enough to do your actual cushion as I've done it. We've also got the concealed zip fastening on the back. So the zip disappears and is protected by this flap of fabric, so there's no scratching yourself on the zip pull or anything like that.
Now, Jane, I know we're going to get to this, but I need to get it out of my system early doors because
Yes.
I don't do zips on cushions. I do envelope back always. Is this going to be easy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I trust
I
Jane
don't do
because
complicated.
This is what she's done for me.
I never ever do complicated.
Okay.
You can see that on there.
There we are.
We visited a similar technique when I did the book cushion, the carry-in book cushion.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah.
I've done the instructions separately so that
Yes.
if you just want to get the instructions for the concealed zip, you can.
Yep.
If you want the cushion instructions, it just tells you how to put the cushion together, and it says, you know, you can do whatever backing on it that you wish.
Yeah.
Similarly, you can finish your cushion differently. I have literally layered that and quilted it, put the back on, and then I've sewn 1/4 inch in all the way around, which gives it sort of like a faux bound edge.
It does.
But you could put a piped edge in, you could bind it, you could do any of the cushion finishing with flares that we've done previously.
Jane, I'm going to say something terrible now.
Yes.
But only you can imagine that but people are laughing at home. If you made a cushion cover, and perhaps you're new to this, and it was a little bit big, a little bit baggy, and you were slightly annoyed with yourself, that top stitching at 1/4 inch all the way around.
Yeah, brings it in. And you could make it deeper if you wanted to.
Why have I never thought of this before?
It's one of those things.
I love you,
Those
Jane.
things,
This is
isn't it?
very exciting. Just imagine I'm going to go home now and go, you cushion that have been annoying me.
Yeah.
So I just go and buy a new pad
Yes.
just to fill it out.
Well,
But actually, I really like that look.
yes.
Great.
It's a nice way of finishing your
That's made
cushion.
my day, Jane.
You've got in the kit, you've got your fabric for the front and back of your cushion. So there's a fat quarter of Sailor Valentine. Contrast is this one, I think. Anyway, it's gorgeous, whatever it is. It's the cave fabric. And we just looked at it and we thought, yeah, tabby cats.
You did.
It just gives you all of that
Perfect.
options. You can do a little bit of fussy cutting if you wanted to, so you could pick out the stripier bits. The pattern, obviously, you can use whichever fabrics you like, but if you need to use the kit, that's the one that I've made the sample with. You're also going to get a fat eighth of our wadding. This is 80-20 wadding, so it's 80% cotton, 20% polyester, and a piece, fat eighth, of the calico.
Yeah.
This is so that you can do a quilted front should you wish to.
And
It's
these
a
are
good
premium
size
quality
piece.
as well,
Yeah,
Jane, aren't they?
great,
You know,
great.
we're not talking annoying wadding that's warpy. We're talking Vliselina.
Yes, good quality.
Really good quality wadding.
80-20 because it's my favourite.
Yes.
So
I like a bit of me old bamboo.
yeah, you've got that in your kit. That is the kit. So you've got your wadding, your calico for the back of your. You always need something between your machine and your wadding. Really, you can quilt without a backing on, but you're going to get a lot of fluff, and you might get it snagging on the feet of your sewing machine. So it's always a good idea to have something at the back of your wadding when you're doing a little quilted project.
Jane, we've not mentioned something very important here. Bearing in mind you are getting the fabric that will make your complete cushion, you're getting your wadding, and all you really need to buy are eyes or buttons to stitch on, which
Yes.
you might already have.
You may
and
have them
some
in your
thread.
stash, yeah.
That kit there is $11.99.
Bargain.
Okay.
Bargain,
Your
just saying.
instructions are available on the website in printed format. They will be there in digital format later today.
We've just got to do a little bit of proofreading
We
just
have.
to make sure.
Do some printing and check it's printing okay.
So I thought another colourway, let's go dark background, and I snuck a little bit of Tilda.
You did, the new Tilda.
The new
Brand
Tilda.
new Tilda.
So this is a little bit of olive branch hazel, which we're going to do the cats in. And you get your wadding and your backing as well.
Great.
And when I say backing, I'm talking about the backing of your quilt for the cushion front. I'm not talking about the backing of your cushion.
Yeah.
Although our calico is good enough quality that you could use it for the back of your cushion, should you wish. But the 1/2 metre that you get within your kit will be enough to do the backing of the cushion, the same size as me. If you want to do it bigger, you'll need more fabric.
There we go.
Okay.
Good to know. Excellent. Jane, what are you going to show us first, Jane?
Let's show you how to do the block.
Great. And here's some prep you did earlier.
There's not much prep done earlier, purely because it's so quick and straightforward.
Good.
There didn't really need to be much prep
Brilliant.
done. But I did really want to try and make the cushion live, if I could.
Very good. We like
So,
that.
we've got all our pieces cut out. So from your background pieces, I've got border strips there. I probably won't get to put all the borders on. I might just do one border round,
We forgive
just
you,
for
Jane.
the show's
You
purposes.
get the general idea.
You're going to need rectangles, 4 of them, all the same size, in your background fabric.
Yeah. All your sizes are in your instruction.
Yeah. You're going to need 2 squares of your background fabric, and you're going to need 7 squares of your main fabric. 2 of them you will leave as squares. The other 5 you need to mark with a diagonal from corner to corner on the reverse of your fabric. And I always mark from the middle out to the corners. I have treated the fabric with flatter before using it. And on 2 of them, you're going to take your 2 background squares, place them right sides together, and you're going to sew on the line of on your diagonal. My wonky glasses on. Broken the arm on my glasses.
I know, no one can see you, Jane, but I am chuckling to myself. You went to the optician, didn't you?
No, I haven't got
Oh,
an
not
appointment
yet?
yet. No, I've got to get an
Oh.
appointment. I've got a dentist appointment tomorrow. I need to get that out of the way first before I think about opticians. And we're going to trim 1/4 of an inch away from that line. And you'll end up with those triangles. Now what you can do is you can then sew that from that line there. You could draw another 1/2 inch before you sew it. You could draw a 1/2 inch line on the one side, and you could sew on that line. And then when you cut through, you'd have a ready-made 1/2 square triangle for your stash, because this is scrap.
Okay. Yeah, don't waste that.
Did we put the iron on, Gemma?
Yeah, of
You
course.
did.
Oh, it's on.
'cause-
It's on already.
Yeah, because you are
It's
on
already
it.
on. I've
You're
done
already
that.
on it. So we'll just press that to one side, and so you'll end up with 2 1/2 square triangles, like so. Now on your rectangles, you're going to place, now then I have to think about this. I'll have to look at the cushion, because I have left, very cleverly, left my instructions.
Instructions are here, Jane. She says.
I don't think we've got the,
On my laptop.
we've got 2 facing from bottom left to top right, and then we've got 1 facing top right to bottom left, I think. Next one up, Gemma.
There you go.
Yep. In my picture, it's like that and like that. And we're going to sew on the lines of these. You can pin, of course, and it probably is a good idea to pin your square to your rectangle so you get a good fit. And again, you're sewing on the line. I know you're so used to me saying sew 1/4 of an inch either side of the line, but on this one we're sewing on the line. And again, if you wanted to, you could mark that 1/2 inch away, and you'd have those 1/2 square triangles already sewn, rather than a load of triangles just floating around in your stash. You'd have them ready to go. Make a little pin cushion or something like that to match your cushion. So you've got those 3 like so. Oops. Let's just cut that thread. Two bottom left to top right, and 1 from bottom right to top left. And we're going to trim those corners off so that when we press the triangle back, it reforms the rectangle. Be careful when you're doing this that you don't cut the wrong side of your square, because you'll wreck it and you'll be very upset. So those are all scrap pieces in your stash for another time.
Jane, I'm having a personal crisis, Jane.
Oh no, I can't have that.
There is supposed to be a washing machine engineer in my house right now fixing my washing machine that's been broken for over a week. So I've been wearing, you know, all the pants that aren't the ones that are comfy, and all the clothes that I don't like so much. And apparently, they've just rescheduled for next Wednesday.
Oh my gosh,
No,
do they not
no,
understand?
and no, actually, I say no. It's under warranty. It's quite a new machine, Jane.
It's just rude.
Sorry, everyone. Just, you know. I feel I'm in a space where people will understand.
Yes, they will.
Yes.
They will.
There is laundry everywhere in my house.
We're all friends
It is
together.
ridiculous. It's been over a week and no. I'll actually have to hand wash stuff, Jane. Or pop next door to my neighbours and use her machine.
I was going to say,
if you've
got a nice neighbour,
I'll take her a bottle of wine round and we shall sit.
wonderful.
And wash all my smalls, Jane. Oh, come on.
Right. So, those are your pieces. You've got your 2 half square triangles. You've got your rectangles with your triangles on the end to reform the rectangles, and you've got a plain rectangle.
There we are.
So, the first one, take the plain rectangle and one of your half square triangles and sew it together. Let me just check I've got this the right way around. No.
It's on my screen. You're all good.
Yes, that's right.
You are right, Jane. Look,
Yeah.
it's here on my screen.
So, with your main fabric against your rectangle, we're using a 1/4 inch seam throughout, or a consistent sized seam, whichever size you use. Just make sure it's the same throughout your project and it'll all fit together. This is row 1. Okay, that's row 1. Row 2. We now need
This one here.
this one. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one.
This one.
Yeah. And one of your plain squares. And you sew that to there.
Just goes to show, doesn't it? If you think you don't need the instructions, Jane wrote these instructions. She needs the instructions.
Yes.
You know, it's unless you're making something all day, every day, I think you always need that to refresh and look back on, don't you?
That's row 2. This is row 3. Yeah, that one to there.
Like a ninja today, Jane. This really is a quick make.
It really
isn't it?
is a quick make. It's such fun.
I've hardly got time to change the camera angles, Jane.
I know, it's mad. And that one with the triangle facing from bottom right to top left. I have to think about my left and right every time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you're one of those that needs an L and an R on your hand.
I do. and then I get them on the wrong way
You
around.
just have to do this and remember.
Yeah.
Left.
Yeah.
And I write with this one. I'm
My
all
right is my right.
Unless you write with your left hand, and then that really is confusing.
Yeah. It doesn't hurt to stop and think occasionally just to make sure you're doing it the right way around. And that's there. So that's your 4 rows. So then you're going to sew your 2 rows together. Now I've pressed my seam against the plain fabric on that side and on the plain fabric on this side. So when I put these 2 rows together, that seam is going to nest, which is going to give me a lovely neat matching point. Ooh.
Oh, she's in speedy
I
sewing
forget
mode.
that it's like
Whiz whiz.
whizzy fabric. Right, I'm going to press that one up and away from there
Lovely.
onto that one. Just give that a tuck under there, that's it.
Is that all right, Jane?
Fabulous, thank you. So that's row 1 and 2 together, and then we'll sew row 3 and 4 together. And again, we've got this nesting seam going on here to match them up with. No seam matching at the other end. And of course you can pin it together if you're not feeling, you know, if you want a bit more confidence and accuracy. Just adjust that underneath, it's just gone a bit wobbly. There we go. So now you've got row 3 and 4 together. We can just give that a press.
Just a wee one.
Yeah, just give that a... That's it. Wonderful.
Everything's in the way, Jane.
And then we can line those two up and we can sew that together. Now what you can do if you want to be absolutely sure that you get these two seams running together, because you'll look at this and you'll go, that's not going to fit because there's a gap there and that comes to the edge. This is your seam allowance, so it's meant to happen. So when you put these together, you've got your X marks the spot here, slightly tatty on mine because my thread's pulled itself against it, but you've got your seam going up there and the seam going across. So where those two seams meet on this side will be where the point comes against the square there. And what you can do is you can just make sure that when you put that pin through straight, it comes against the edge of your triangle there, and just run that pin along the seam underneath. You'll be able to feel it underneath with your fabric.
Jane, isn't it? So when you're sewing your 1/4 inch, just to make sure you're going through that X marks the spot.
Yeah, or just slightly above.
Just
slightly above will always ensure that you don't lose the edge of it.
Otherwise you'll lose the point, Jane.
Yes, and none of us like to use the point, do we, Gemma?
We frequently lose the point here, but we don't like to lose the point in our patchworking.
Absolutely not.
Oh, I've been asked now, are we going to have a twiddle in the middle? Because it's not a Wednesday without a twiddle in the middle.
Well, there's actually no need for a twiddle in the middle. But you can see that that's come together quite nicely there. I don't think you can twiddle this. My glasses fall off. No, because it's a triangle, it won't twiddle. Can you see? It's not going to twiddle there. So you just got a bit of bulk there, but if you listen to your fabric, it'll press upwards like that, up and away.
Vicky's offering the use of her washing machine, so if I chuck some in Chloe's and some in Vicky's, I mean, I'll be drunk because I'll be taking wine to everywhere and drinking it while I'm waiting for the loads to do. But I think that's great. I could have 2 loads of washing on at the same time in 2 different places.
Yeah, take a bag with you when you go and see your mum as well, and she'll do some for you.
Oh, do you know, I don't like to be a bother, but
it's never a bother, is it?
Machine,
no.
can you?
It's one of the things that is essential. So that is your block.
Fabulous.
It's as quick and as simple as that. So we're going to put a strip either side. If I can find the other one.
Our Tilda colourway coming together as well.
Yes, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lovely coffee-coloured cat. So a strip at either side, and then once we've got those on and pressed back, we'll put a strip on the top of the bottom. Now in the quilt I've made, we then added the cushion rather. We added another strip. Keep doing it the same way, so side and side, and then top and bottom. and you'll keep going round. Obviously these aren't going to fit because we've got seam allowance to take into account. And then finally I put the strips around. So that's the cushion front. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put one strip around the edge.
It's going to look great, Jane.
And then we're going to layer it up. So I'm going to move the top and bottom strip out of the way, and we're just going to line these up and get them sewn on. Don't worry if they're a little bit bigger, it's okay because you can always trim them back.
Yes.
It's all dependent on seam allowance.
If you're a bit smaller, you've got a problem.
Yes, if you're a bit smaller then you might just... It's always worth just taking the moment and measuring your block before you cut your strips. I mean, in the pattern I've given you the length.
Yeah.
But I would always sort of add to that. Just check before you start. I'd leave cutting your strips until you've made your block, and then you can just give it a measure. And if you need to, you might need to just cut them a little bit bigger, or you might need to cut them a little bit smaller.
I always do this with sashing, Jane. I think when I first started making quilts, and you gave me this advice early on.
Yeah.
And it just,
because
no one knows what size all your blocks are meant to be and what that is meant to then produce.
No, and also there's all machines. Their 1/4 of an inch is always slightly different.
I know, it always makes a chuckle, but 1/4 of an inch is not the same on every machine.
No, and also, you know, your positioning at the machine can affect the 1/4 of an inch and the weather and all sorts of things like that.
Well, heaven forbid you should try and do it on more than one machine, Jay.
Yes.
Don't
So,
do that.
Yeah, it's a bit, you know, try and use the same machine for all of your projects. It's that sounds a bit like what you're talking about, but for me, I've got my machine at home, I've got my machine in the workshop, and then I've got the studio machine as well, and they're all slightly different.
Yep.
So, you know, it is what it is. So I've got the strips there, I'm going to put those top and bottom. I should have pressed the side ones really, but I finger pressed them and I'm quite happy with.
Jane has some kind of witchcraft going on in her fingers where she can seam press with her fingers and it just seems to lay really nicely flat. I always say this. You're like, Gemma, it's just a finger press, just run your fingers along, it'll do the same thing. No, it doesn't. It does not work for me, Jay. Very frustrating. We've only got 2 sets of Peeping Toms eyes left. If you were looking out for some Peeping Toms eyes, you might want to grab those quickly.
They are fun. There's different colours in there. I was going to be really safe and I was going to use like beigey coloured ones because there's like amber colour in there.
Yeah, also like little mother of pearl or something like that.
And Natasha said, well, there's some blue and there's some purple ones there. Look, and they pull the colours in the K fabric, and I was like, oh yeah, they do, and they do look much better, much more fun. That's a very wobbly seam, but for the purposes of demonstration, it does the job. Right, so we'll give that a nice press now, and in the pattern, if you follow the pattern, you will add another 2 borders to that. But for the purpose of demonstration, I am just going to just do the one frame on here, and then we'll do a little bit about quilting it and finishing it.
Lovely, Jane.
And then we can get on to the conceal.
Considering, right, we went, oh, hello. We went to Wear at 10. We've shown you all the fabrics in all the world, and the 1/2 metre heavens, and Boltons. And Jane's made a block. It's 9 minutes past 11, Jane.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
Right. We've done all of that in an hour. So this block here has taken no time at all.
I mean, obviously I've done all my cutting beforehand, but your cutting's not going to take you very long.
No.
It's very straightforward cutting.
And actually I really like to, I've got project bags and I like to cut out my projects, put all my pieces in project bags and have them ready to go. So that if I do have the fancies for some sewing, then I can just grab a project bag and get cracking. Instructions in there, everything.
Yeah.
It's really nice to do. Everything labelled and, you know, all of that, obviously.
You can see here that these are nice size pieces of calico and wadding. So you can put, you know, if I put that in the middle, you can see there's plenty of room for another border. With a little quilt cushion like this, I just use spray adhesive to hold the layers together. I haven't even got any of that with me today. So I'm just going to change my foot onto, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the quilting around the shapes first and around the edge. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of a filigree in here.
Oh, I love it when you do a filigree, Jane. So if you were going to put your other borders on, Jane, you'd have gone next in with an olive branch border,
yes,
wouldn't
you'd
you?
have had...
And then some more of the
You'd have
chocolates.
had that one there.
Oh, see, look.
And then you'd have had the chocolate
Just
one.
because I think everyone needs to see.
Yeah, that would have gone
That's
there.
what your kit will do. It will make that lovely big cushion so that you get that
yeah,
nice
so
extra
you
frame
have
on it.
that effect. And it's lovely. That's going to be, whoops.
But for the purposes of
Just
getting a
because
demo done.
getting
Look
the demo
how it
done.
frames it there.
Yeah, it just gives that extra bit.
Oh, I love it. But none of that.
But for today, just want to get it so that you can see how it all comes together, really.
So you've got your project right sides up, you've got then your piece of wadding and then your piece of calico underneath.
Yeah. Now, if I was using spray adhesive, I would spray the wadding. I wouldn't spray the fabric. So I would first of all spray this side,
Yep.
put the calico on top, smooth it out from the middle outwards on the wadding, always that way. Then I would turn it over, spray this side,
Yeah.
place the cat cushion front on there, and again smooth it from the middle outwards.
I've always done that, Jane, but I don't know why. I just haven't. I think that's dumb luck as much as anything. But
Yeah.
why would you say it's best to do that?
Well, you'll get rid of any wrinkles. If you go from the middle out, you're smoothing it away from itself, and that will make it lie nice and
but
flat.
spraying the wadding.
Yeah, if you spray the fabric, the fabric's just going to absorb the adhesive, and it goes
okay.
gunky and wrinkly and
Splodgy, potentially.
splodgy. Well, you're adding a liquid to your, and you know
Yeah.
what happens when you wet fabric? It shrinks itself
It does.
in, it goes wrinkly, and that's what will happen
I've
if
never
you put
really
the
thought about
adhesive
it.
on.
I've just done it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I've done it because apparently it's right.
Yes,
But I'm willing to hold my hands up and say that was probably just...
more
I'll
luck than
say it was
judgment.
instinct, Jane.
Yes,
Let's say it was instinct. It was clearly not. It was just one of those
lucky
lucky moments.
Lucky moment.
It's all these little things that no one tells you.
Absolutely.
And that's why we love you, Jane, because it's great to know.
And also sometimes, people just make an assumption that you know why you do stuff, and not quite often you don't know why you do things. It's
No,
just,
exactly.
you've been told to do it, and that's what you do.
It's great to know. Jane, you are changing the foot over on the machine at the moment.
I am. I'm
And
just
putting the
changing it to a
walking
walking foot, just because I want to be sure. I'm fairly confident that this machine would cope quite well with 3 layers without any problem and wouldn't rock it up.
So what Jane is using today is the Mini Beast, as we call it. This is the TL2200, which is a mini industrial, isn't it?
It is.
Natasha's workhorse, we call it. It tolerates everything. Bag
It does.
making, quilting, all of that. Putting the walking foot on is a job with a little screwdriver. Some of the other duking machines don't need you to do that, do they, Jane?
No,
They've
you've got a little
integral-
lever, and the one I have in the workshop is a gorgeous machine, and it's just an arm that comes down at the back and fits under the foot, and there's no need to change the foot at all.
That's the UX8. Now I've got the NX7, that's the same.
Yeah.
And you just pull it down and lock it in place. So it's a game changer, that.
It really is. So I'm just with the walking foot, I'm doing a straight stitch in the ditch, well, as near to the ditch as I can. There's a lovely variegated thread on here, which is going to give us quite an interesting effect.
Excellent.
Nice and steady, holding the fabric. I haven't sprayed, adhesived or pinned or anything with this, so it'll be
In the lap of
interesting.
the gods.
It'll be interesting to see.
Yes.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the corner on this. and then I'm going to turn round and I'm going to sew back up to the top of the edge of the cat ear and then go around the cat. The thing is with this, you're not going to see the quilting on the back because it's going to be inside your cushion. So if you go over the lines a couple of times, it really doesn't matter. And even if it's the back of a quilt, it doesn't matter. It just means less edges to sew in.
It does.
So, you know, less work at the end of the day.
Vicky has hit on a winner. She says, if anyone's got any Halloween fabrics, this would make a wonderful themed cushion.
Yes.
Have black cats,
A black cat with
amazing Halloween fabrics.
Halloween fabric, yeah.
That'd be great.
It'd be really good fun, wouldn't it?
Really good fun.
I've lengthened my stitch slightly. I always work with about a 3.5 when I'm doing my quilting, just because it's decorative as well as functional of holding your 3 layers together. So you do want to see the stitching.
But then you're really taking your time here.
Yes.
You know, I think a lot of
Well, I'm
people-
probably going a little bit faster than I would do if I was at home.
Yeah.
I do go slowly when I'm quilting. It's, you know, your walking foot likes to walk. It doesn't like to race. Even on the on this mini beast, you know, you really don't want to be whizzing along with your walking foot. It doesn't do it any good. So I'm going to come back along this to the corner and then I'll go back again on myself to go back around the edge.
Marvellous.
Oh, I'm wobbly there, never mind.
Michelle is celebrating getting the full bundle.
Oh, well done, Michelle.
Says, I love it all, but I'm definitely Team Mouse. So cute.
It is.
So cute.
Yeah, it's got there's a very big element. I rather love the squirrel personally, but yeah, the dormouse.
But I do love a squirrel anyway.
Yes. It can be a bit kamikaze though when you're driving down the country lanes.
Yes.
One
Yes, they
leap
can.
out in front of me the other day and I was just like, ah, don't do that to me.
It's good that those two fabrics contrast so well because you can see whereabouts you are
Yes.
on this project. It's not like everything's really similar colour.
No, it shows up really nicely. I'm just going to go back down along the edge of that cat so that I can go up and around.
So Jane, when we named this project, I said, have we got a name for the project? I quite often do this. Jane will be working on something and I said, have you got a title for that one yet? Because then I can start creating the products on the system, you see.
Yes.
She said, well, I've got a couple of ideas. First one was Peeping Tom, and I went, done, lovely, perfect, great, brilliant. Oh, did you not want to hear them? No, I still haven't heard the other one.
I can't remember now.
But the Peeping Tom cushion was like, yeah, perfect, job done.
Oh, Cave Cats I think was the
Cave
other one
Cats,
because we
okay.
use cave fabric.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, that sort of limits it then, doesn't it, really?
It does. I was going to say the other option in my head had been, before you come up with Peeping Tom, which is perfect, by the way, was the Crazy Cat Lady cushion. Because
Yes.
you and Natasha are both absolutely self-confessed Crazy Cat
Oh,
Ladies.
absolutely.
You have 2.
I do.
Tash has 2. She has Naughty Morty and the lesser spotted, very beautiful Malcolm, who only likes her and nobody else.
Yeah.
Well, apart from Mabel. He loves Mabel, the dog. But
Well, everybody loves Mabel.
you've got 2 cats.
Oh,
It's
yes.
quite a new thing for you, having 2 cats in the
Well,
house.
I've always said that I would love cats, but our dog, Daisy, she doesn't like cats. She's not keen at all, and I didn't want to put that sort of on her because it's not fair. But Glenn, my husband, has changed his job and he's now a milk tanker driver, and he'd been to this farm. And like most, I mean, he goes to several farms a night, and most of them, majority of them, every single one probably, have cats. Majority of them are feral. They're just there for keeping the mice and things down. But all the tanker drivers just put a little bit of the milk in a bowl for the cats.
Big
And
softies that they
they're
are.
big, you know, these big burly tanker drivers. And
No wonder they hang around.
and the one farm, the cats were quite a bit more friendly. and there'd been these 2 kittens that had been hanging around, and the one thought it would be good fun to play amongst the wheels of the tanker, which is not a good idea.
It's not, is it?
So I said to Glenn, "Oh, you should bring them home. Just put them in your pocket and bring them home." Joking. And anyway, for my birthday, he spoke to the farmer, and she said, "Yeah, you can give them a home." So they came home with well, we went and collected them. He didn't bring them home in his tanker.
No, that wouldn't be allowed.
No, that wouldn't go down very well at all. And so we have now got these 2 kittens. We had the first one because the one disappeared off, and she thought he'd just gone off because obviously they're semi-feral cats, and they're left to their own devices to a degree. And she said, "Well, you can take the grey one." She said, "You can take that one." So we went and got the grey one. Bobbin, because I wasn't sure at the time whether she was a girl or a boy.
It's a very good unisex name, isn't it, for a sewer/quilter?
Yeah,
Bobbin.
and I thought, well, Bobbins fits in just nicely, and she sort of suited the name. And anyway, the other kitten turned up, and the farmer, she said, "Go on, you can take that one too." So we ended up with
When
these
will
2
she
kittens.
Stop? There might be some more to come.
To be fair, Daisy's been very patient and accepting of them, because I was a bit worried. But she's been fine with them, because I think they were small and they were, tiny. Right, so we're going to do a little bit of filigree now, so a bit of free motion. So I've changed the foot to the darning foot, which is a circular. On Natasha's, it's a circular one. I'm not sure if she's got the other type of one. Because you can get them.
A little O'Deal pencil case with all the feet.
All the feet in. Yes, there's another one here. Look, it's like a horseshoe shape. So, your machine may come with the darning foot, which is circular, or it may be like that. It could be clear plastic. Just the same thing. Sometimes it's called a hopping foot, but generally speaking, they're known as darning feet, free motion foot. So, take your thread, drop your needle into your fabric, drop your foot, and then raise the needle out, and it should catch the bobbin thread, and you'll be able to pull the bobbin thread up, she says confidently. Yeah, pull the bobbin thread up to the top of your fabric. So you've got the bobbin thread and the top thread on your fabric. Put the needle back into your fabric in the same space as it's come out of. Lift the foot up with a pin, your unpicker, scissors, whatever. Get hold of those 2 threads and pull them under the foot so they're back and out of the way. Then you can drop your foot again. Remember to drop your foot, because sometimes with your quilting feet it looks like it's down because of the layers, but generally speaking most machines won't work.
Jane, why is it important to bring all the threads up and over the top of your project?
If you don't have that bobbin thread picked up, it's just going to tangle up underneath, because you're moving freely with your machine. It'll just drag it and it'll scrunch all the fabric up and make a mess on the back of it. So.
And is there anything you need to do with the feed dogs or anything like that?
You can drop your feed dogs if you want to. Some machines recommend it. I don't drop my feed dogs.
No?
The thing is, it's an embroidery foot. It doesn't have a grip. So even with the feed dogs up, you can freely move the fabric underneath it. It doesn't grip the fabric.
Good
so
to know.
I don't bother. But
Excellent.
some machines will say to you to do that because it might affect the machine working, but generally speaking it doesn't. So a nice steady pace, and we're just taking the line
I will see.
For a bit of a meander.
This helps. Let's zoom in. Aha!
There we
Oh,
go.
I do love it when this works.
So I'm just taking it very steady, keeping it a nice steady pace, just moving it around. If you go slowly with moving your fabric, because you are moving the fabric, if you don't move the fabric, it's just going to stitch on the spot.
Right.
you have to move the fabric. If you move slowly, you'll get short stitches. If you move the fabric quickly, you get longer stitches.
So you do.
So you just need to, I would practice, if you've never done this before, give it a practice on a piece of scrap and find your pace. It's just a nice steady pace, and we're just moving it around. Just doing, it's called a filigree or a wiggly squiggly, whichever you want to use it. And it's just fills up a space quite nicely, and it's a bit like scribbling on your fabric.
I love it. My mum's just messaged. It says, "Food job's done. Tick."
Good. Keeping it nice and
that
safe.
On the screen now. Brilliant. I've put it into airplane mode. I didn't think I could get messages in airplane mode, but apparently I can. Hope no one sends me anything more inappropriate than "Food job's done." Tick, hey?
Yes.
That won't do at all. Right, I'm just in the interest of not getting caught out with anyone seeing anything else. It's a bit more personal. I shall retreat. But you get the idea.
Yeah. And don't forget, you can stop. You can breathe. You can take it. You can move your fabric around. Don't feel that you've got to take a deep breath, hold your breath and keep going. Because that is what you do when you're first doing free motion quilting. You'll find you're holding your breath, and because you hold your breath, you get tense around your shoulders, which then can make your stitching tighter, believe it or not.
Because you're not moving as freely, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it also creates pain across your shoulders. So what you need to do, I'm standing, which is quite a good way to quilt. But what you need to do, if you're sitting, you'll be hunched over and you'll get tense, and all this will start to hurt across here. So periodically, maybe not for a cushion front, but if you're doing a big quilt, every half hour, 20 minutes or so, just sit back from your machine, push your back against the back of your chair, even stand up. Just roll your shoulders back, turn your head left and right, just to stretch these muscles out on here, because otherwise you're going to finish quilting your quilt and you'll step away from your machine and you'll be like, oh my God, I can't move, because it does. And it doesn't matter how relaxed you try to be, you will tense yourself up. So just try and think about that when you're doing it, because it's quite important. You don't want to hurt yourself.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can sit in a terrible posture and it just...
It's so easy to do.
Yeah.
And if you quilt at your dining table as well, your chair is probably going to be a little bit too low, really, because it's set for eating.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you can bear to stand at your machine like we do, it's actually better for you. And it's also important to have your foot for the machine, your pedal, in the right position as well. Don't have it like miles away from you. I think I've just run out of bobbin thread.
Oh no. That's another top tip.
Make sure your bobbins are nice and full
before you start.
So I'm going to leave it at that for now, because that's held my to my cushion top anyway.
Oh, it looks fab, Jane.
So what we'll do now is we're going to trim the cushion top level with the backing and the wadding.
So you've kept your quilting within?
Yeah, I've done mine within my border.
But you could, for style reason?
Yeah, just for there's nothing to stop you going right to the edge. But I like the idea of sort of framing it, because the cats do look like they're sort of peeping out of the edge. And at this point, if your border has gone wobbly, like, because you can see how the quilting pulls things in, you can trim it down straight. So just give it a little tug under your ruler. Just tug it. I'm looking at this seam line here. We started off at 1.5 inches, so it should be 1 1/4 now. So I'm placing the 1 1/4 line on that seam, and I'm going to just trim it level. So I've trimmed a little bit off the edges there, and there may be a little bit of wadding showing, but less than 1/4 inch, so I'm not worried about that, but I know it's a nice straight line. And I'll do that on all 4 sides. And if you've got more borders, you know, you can, it's still the same process. Later on I will sew that end in, and all I'll do is I'll just take it into the background fabric and bring it in.
Jane, I've just seen that the brown colourway, so the nutmeg and hazel of the Tilda, the collection of 5 fabrics has sold out. So
Wow.
I'm just going to sit here and adjust our stock just to assign a little bit more across, but I am getting to the point where there will not be enough to do this again.
Wow.
So it is a case of, if you did want that colourway as a 5 fabrics cut to order in quarter-metre increments, then, you know, that grab it as soon as I've got this button pressed.
So you can see that's now all nicely trimmed and level. So for the backing now, to make the back of this cushion cover, I'm just thinking, I just stopped then to pause because I was just thinking, actually, yeah, what I would do is I would sew my whiskers on. And I did just a long stitch, so I just sort of came in where I thought the nose might be. You can mark it on. I came up from the back, did a knot in my thread, went into the back. The thing is with this, as I said, because it's inside the cushion, you're not going to see any thread ends or anything like that. So came up there and went back down, went back across, and then a little bit lower, and I did about 4. So straight lines like so, either side. And then to place the eyes in, these are, like I say, they're like toy safety eyes. So it's just a case of getting the 2. You've got backs that are washers on there. I had my brad all there, I did. So just decide where you want your eyes to be. I sort of went just above the seam, about there. Take your brad awl or your unpicker and make holes through the 3 layers, just so that you can get these stems through. Now you might need, is there an unpicker? Yes, there is. I'm just going to reach across you, Gemma, sorry.
That's all right.
You might need your unpicker and just very carefully, not too hard, just make a little slice in it. But be careful because you need a lot of force to start with and you can get carried away.
Yeah, and you don't want to make a great
You
big
don't
hole.
want to make a big hole.
Oh, look.
So you push those through and then you just slip the washer over the top like so. And I did that after I'd quilted because I wanted it to be give the cushioning of the quilting to do that.
Great.
So it does give a lovely...
Those went on really easy.
Yeah, they do.
Just click that little
Just
thing on the back.
click it in.
I'll be honest, I've got some of these at home. It's one of the many things I've bought and gone, oh, that'll be fun, and then never used.
Yeah.
I am terrible for that.
Well,
But I love it because you guys come up with the project then, and I think, yes, I can use my stash. Which is why
this
I've
is
got
the
such a
thing,
great
isn't
collection
it?
of
And it's
instructions
always
there.
better to make the hole too small so you can make it a little bit bigger rather than just going gung-ho and making a massive hole and then finding that it's too big and you've ripped your fabric or whatever. Just give it a little wiggle and it pushes through the 3 layers.
We have a lovely question here, Jane, and we will talk about it in a little while. But
Yeah.
Sharon says, hi, the colourful item hanging between you both. What item is this, and do you have a pattern? Everyone else is thinking, what's that then? That'll be this.
Oh, that's next week's.
Here's next week's make.
Well, I'm saying next week, but
Well.
we've had so many lovely fabrics
Yeah, I
come in.
know.
It might not be next week's. It
It's
might be another
a
week's.
forthcoming
Yes.
make from Jane.
Watch this space.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a stack and whack pattern.
Yeah. Really looking forward to that one. So that one is in progress. It will be coming up in the forthcoming, shall we say,
In the weeks to
month.
come.
Within the next month, that one's going to be on your screen. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
We might have a little bit of a schedule adjust just to allow for the bits and bobs we've got. That have come in and slapped us about the face, Jane, haven't they?
Well,
Said,
yes.
excuse me, you can't ignore me for very long. I'm here
It's
now.
so funny because Natasha said we were moving warehouse and that we got to, you know, clear out and de-stash stuff so that there was, which we've been doing, and you lot have benefited from it.
Yes.
And then suddenly all this new fabric arrived, and we were like, oh, it's filled up all the spaces.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah,
just timing,
it's how it is. We order it months in advance. We're never really sure. We get a sort of, it'll be here around October time.
I mean, there's a particular fabric collection that I ordered with Natasha probably about a year ago, and we were told it would be in May this year. It's still not here. So it can be a little bit unreliable, and it comes when it comes. But yeah, we do order sort of, 18 months in advance sometimes.
Yeah, you've got these sticking up. Now what you can do, it does, once you've got a cushion pad in,
won't matter, will it?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But if you wanted to, you could snip those off slightly down. They're already plastic, so they would snip off.
Are they? They look metal.
Yeah, they're plastic, so they're nice and soft. So that's how you put your eyes in. Just a straight stitch for, as I say, embroidery for your whiskers. So measure your top of your square, is the word I'm trying to find. It's not working. That's 14. Let's hope it's square. Yes, it's 14 by 14. So for your backing fabric, you take the measurement of your...
I've got to touch them.
You take the measurement of your cushion and you cut a strip. Now, when I did the backing, and it's all in the instructions, I got the background fabric. It's a 1/2 metre piece. I cut it along the fold in the middle. You'll see when you open fabric out, this is a full width of fabric. You've got both salvages there. The fabric is folded onto the bolt. So I cut this 1/2 metre in half along that fold in the middle to create 2 fat quarters. So I cut so many pieces of fabric out of said fat quarter for the front, and I had to do cut some from the other fat quarter for the borders. But you still have enough to make the size cushion that I've made. So we need to cut a strip, so from selvage to cut edge, the same width as our cushion. So 14. Just check that on there.
Yeah, check twice,
Yep.
cut once.
14.
It's very easy, isn't it, to cut something?
Yeah.
Like, and then we say lots of words you can't say on air.
You mustn't say on air.
Definitely not.
I'm just going to straighten this one edge up here, just because you can see I've got it slightly wibbly. Just going to trim off the bare minimal just to make that straight. Just line it up with the lines on the mat for that. And then I'm going to cut it half the width of the cushion plus a 1/2 inch. I think that's what I said. Hold on, I may have said something else.
Check your destructions, as my mother would call them. While you're looking at that, Jane,
yes,
Sharon is very excited about the prospect of a stack and wax. She says, "I've never made one. Would this be too difficult for a beginner?"
No, you'll love it. You'll love it. It's fabulous.
I'm going to have a go. Very excited.
Yeah.
This is good. It looks like stained glass. I love it.
So you've got one piece that's the width of your cushion, half the measurement plus 1/2 inch. So that's the one piece. Okay. Now for your second piece, you want the other half measurement, but you want to take in account the width of your zip. Now this zip is 1 inch. That's just over 1 inch, 1.25 inches. But I would say it's 1 inch. And you want to double that, so that's 2 inches. And you add that to the width of your piece of fabric. So it's still 14, which is the width of the cushion. Half the width, which is 14 on mine, which is going to be 7. And then 2 inches, which is going to be 19. Not 19. It's going to be 9. I'm looking at 19 on the mat. Okay, so you've got your 2 pieces like so. Take your piece of zip. Now, if you've got continuous zip, this is very straightforward. I would cut it half an inch wider either side, well, an inch wider than the cushion. So I'm going to cut mine at 15. That's there. Maybe a little bit bigger. Just so that I've got it wider than my actual finished cushion edge. I'm going to change my foot again to a zipper foot. Very easy to change these. I've got a nice big screw at the side that you can see easily, and there's a nice screwdriver. Some of the machines, they come with like a plectrum thing that is really fiddly and really hard to attach sometimes.
Agreed. Oh, Syl's fretting about the fact that all the borders haven't gone on. She was saying, can we not make the backing bigger and add you more borders later and finish your cushion and not actually attach the back? It's all right. We don't mind having one smaller cushion, do we, Jane?
No.
In fact, I think that's going to look really cute because you'll have the bigger one in the cream with the cave cats and then the smaller one to sit slightly off-centre and to the front of it.
Yeah.
I think that would be lovely. Sometimes these things are meant to be. Vicky says, what is a stack and whack? I tell you, they are very inquisitive. And I'm going to say, Vicky, just wait.
You'll have to wait and see.
There'll be a stack and whack show within the next few weeks.
So,
Actually not.
I'm going to attach my zip to that edge of the shorter piece of fabric. The first piece that we cut. Now I had all the pins here, and of course I've moved.
You had all the pins in all the world. You need
and then I knocked them all off, didn't I? Because I was doing quilting. Because this is what
Syl's
happens.
cheated and told Vicky what a stack and whack is anyway. But we will see. We will see in a forthcoming show. It's very exciting to do something.
It's really good fun, and it's a lovely way of making a bit of a, it's a bit sort of, not al fresco, what do I mean? What's the word I'm thinking of? Improvised.
Yes.
Improvised quilting in a way.
Yeah.
So I'm just attaching the zip with the zipper foot as close to the zip cheat as I can. I'm using the width of the zipper foot as my guide. So I've got the edge of the zipper foot against the edge of the fabric and zip tape. That hasn't sewn because there's no bobbin in, is there? Oh my gosh!
I mean, to be honest, Jane, I hadn't changed the camera angle, so it's all going on. I'm really glad now that I didn't change the camera angle and show everyone you doing not a lot.
Doing nothing with my
very bobbin.
So in an absolutely fantastic straight line and everything.
I really didn't know where you were going with then. So absolutely back all.
Oh, bless.
Dear me. Thought you can't say anything naughty. Your mum's probably watching.
Well, yes.
Oh, dear.
Right. Let's try again. So funny.
Might change the camera angles this time, Jane. So
Yeah.
have a look. Oh, I would if it wasn't freezing on me.
Yeah, I'm just going to take my stitch down a bit smaller as well because of course
That's
it's still wide from quilting.
I'm going to say Vicky's going to love a stack and whack. And she's going to come up with all sorts of fabulous stuff off the back
she
of
will.
it because she's got a very analytical brain. She comes up with all sorts of stuff, does our Vicky.
So we've sewn that close to the zip. We're going to tip it back. We're going to bring the fabric back as you're lying it. I'm just doing it with my fingers. And then we'll top stitch along that edge.
Jane, when we're pressing that back, it's really important, isn't it, not to touch the teeth with
yeah,
the...
because these teeth are plastic and you'll melt them.
But if you've got a metal zip and you touch the iron to the teeth, it's just going to make those teeth hot, so don't burn yourself. But with these, because they look metal, but they're not, they are plastic teeth, which is kind of good, because when you're sewing, you know, you don't have to worry so much. I always worry when I'm sewing a metal zip that I'm going to, you know, knock my needle in the wrong place and snap a needle. This is more forgiving. However, don't go frazzling with the iron, because that'll be it. You'll melt the teeth, they'll all be moulded together, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
It'll be an unpicker job.
Yeah.
With quite a bit of cursing along the way, I should imagine.
Now the beauty of this cushion is you can use any size zip as long as it's bigger than your actual finished cushion. It's, you know, it's one way of using all those because we've all got them in our stash, those zips that we had and, you know, bought them because they were either in a sale or something, and we thought, well, they'll come in useful, and you've never used them, or you bought them and they were the wrong colour. Because it doesn't matter if it's bigger, because with this method you'll be sewing over the edges anyway, so you can cut it back. So with your zip tape now, lining up the edges of your first piece with your zip tape, you're going to do exactly the same on this side. You're going to sew it now, so you've got the right side of the zip facing up and the right side of your fabric, if it's a pattern, against the zip, and just making sure that it's level with the edges of your front piece. And you can sew that, you can pin that rather onto there.
Oh, Lo's joined us. Morning, sorry, very late. It's all right, Lo, we're still here. And it's 11:45, but we are still here.
Yeah,
we
still
have
sewing.
done all the things today, so please do watch the show back later. There may be others of you joining late thinking, well, hang on a minute, what they got going on here? Don't worry, you can watch our shows back. So we are currently live on Facebook and YouTube and our website, but you can watch the shows back. And please do, because we've shown you all 32 of the brand new Tilda hibernation fabrics. We have shown you Boltons, which have been flying out at a rate of knots.
Yeah.
Jane has done this here demo of the Peeping Toms, which we have in 2 colourways, and she's now demonstrating another of her masterclasses in cushion finishing with flair, which is the concealed zip back on a cushion.
Okay, so you've sewn that onto the zip, so you've got in effect this going on.
Which is fine.
Which is okay.
You might want it like that.
You may want to leave it that way, you might want to show the fabulous zip off. But what you now do is you take that piece of fabric and you pull it down so it covers your zip. You can pull it down as far as you like, but bearing in mind that we are allocated an inch for the zip.
Yeah.
We can just check to make sure that this fits, which it does. Ba-boom.
So you could leave your other piece of fabric, that top piece, you could leave it even bigger until you get to the stage if you were really panicky about it,
Yeah,
Jane.
because you can always trim
If you
it down.
may, Jane.
You can always trim it down. So we've got that now. We're going to pin that in place.
Oh, this is so clever, Jane.
Just so it doesn't move. You can give it a press as well with your iron, again being careful that you don't touch your plastic zip underneath.
I've done your instructions, Jane, and even I'm like, oh, look. It's ridiculous.
And then we can sew along the edge of the zip again, using the zip foot, like top stitching. You can see the zip underneath, so you know where you're going. It just top stitches it to hold it in place. If you've got a pre-made zip, you want to be sure that you've left it open before when we get to the next step. But just make sure, because you'll need an opening to finish it off. But it's actually quite good if you've got a bigger zip, because you can put your zipper on the edge of your zip here, out of the way while you're sewing it down, so it doesn't get, because you know sometimes when you're sewing a zip and it's really hard to get past the actual zip head if it's a preloaded one. Of course our continuous zip is brilliant because you don't have to worry about that. It's a bit of a wobbly line.
So now's when you need one of Natasha's special gadgets, isn't it? If you're using your continuous zip tape.
Is it on here? Yes, it is, isn't it? She's giving me a zipper. So we put it in upside down, don't we?
Mhm.
Is it that way? Yes. Comes down that way, doesn't it?
Face down.
Yeah. Ha! Do you know?
Face down, but right way up. you just wallop them on, don't you?
Yes.
To be honest. You've been doing this for
That
years.
way, that way.
That way.
So it sits.
This is where we need Tasha just to go. There
Yeah,
you go. Done.
that's how you do it.
There it is.
And
You've
then
got to make sure, yeah, exactly.
that way.
I love this method. I can't put them on without the tool.
And it comes in like that, doesn't it?
It's yep. Jane is the stitchy witch. Mind you, mine's on a hard surface. I can't deal with the box because the box has got too much give to me.
It's just going to go on.
Just going to go on.
And this is also, just get Natasha in. Can't do this live on air. She'll just come in and go, what's the matter with you? Let's just do this.
It's a half a second job for her.
Yeah, she just zips it in, doesn't she? Literally zips it. Take that back down there. Is she
I
coming?
hear her coughing.
Is she coming?
Natasha!
Come and put the zipper.
Come on. She knows she wants to because she needs to demonstrate this little tool
There we
gadget.
go. It's on.
I mean, it is on. And they're not horribly difficult to get on, but Natasha puts that on.
No, she just zips it, doesn't she?
Blink of an eye.
Literally.
It's there, it's done.
So, you've got your zipper on. Just make sure that you've got a gap before you then put it onto the back of your cushion. You can watch Natasha back
Yeah.
doing it properly.
Yeah. Why not?
So now you've got your zipper on, you'll just sew across the edge of your zip, close to the edge of the cushion top of the fabric. You might just want to just go backwards and forwards a couple of times.
For those who were wondering where Jane's sewing, it's just at the end of the zip tape,
just to hold it.
Yeah.
And it prevents the zipper head coming off. And you'll do that on both sides. Just, you know, you don't have to do it too close to just about 1/8 of the inch in, because it'll disappear into your seam allowance anyway. So you can see I've just sewn that over the edge there. Made a bit of a mess on the front, but it'll all disappear into seam allowance. And you can then trim your excess zip level with your fabric. So that's all neat. And then you put it right sides together with your cushion, and you'll sew all the way around, and then you can pull it through. Now at this stage, if you wanted to put your flanged piping in, you'd put your piping in around the edge before you pinned it together.
Nice.
If you're going to do a bound edge, you'd put it wrong sides together. You'd sew it close to the edge, about 1/8 of an inch in, and then you'd put your binding on.
Amazing.
So you've got lots of different finishing, but it just hides your zip.
But in the case of the one that you've done here, Jane, you've literally back to back those cushions.
Yeah, they've gone.
The cushion front and the back.
They've gone right sides together.
Yep.
I've sewn it 1/4 an inch all the way around.
Yep.
I trimmed the corners off just to take away the bulk, pulled it through.
Gone through the gap. Then
Yeah.
you make sure you've left the zip open so you
Yeah.
can get your hand through. Pulled
Put
it
it through,
through.
push the corners out,
Yep.
and then I sewed it
Just a top stitch.
top stitch, just 1/4 an inch in, so it just sort of makes that faux
I love that.
faux bound edge in a way, but it looks like it's
Beautiful.
self-bound. So it's quite a nice way of finishing a cushion quite quickly.
Brilliant, Jane. Love it.
But yeah, It's quite a nice way of finishing your cushion, and it hides. So you can use any colour zip
Yeah, exactly.
because it hides it. You're not going to see it.
No.
So,
Exactly. But there are our 2 Peeping Toms. Let's put those there so we can see them next to each other. Same pattern, different fabrics.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Jane, I love him. And
It's good
I
fun.
always love a cushion finishing with flair. I said to you, didn't I? I said,
Yeah.
come on, you've got to have something else you can show us.
I was
Because it
racking
is
my
my
brains, and
favourite
then I was
series.
like, oh yeah, we haven't done a concealed zip.
No,
so.
quite. Jane has just mentioned a couple of what she's done before. She's done a bound edge cushion. She's done we've done a piped edge. You've
Yeah.
done a sort of
Faux flange.
flange,
Yeah.
where the flange sort of sits in amongst the...
Yeah, on the edge of
Yeah.
the binding. Yeah. So there's
You've done
lots
quite
of
a few.
yeah.
And they are available to download, and they're one of my most used instructions. And then I do cushions and people say, oh gosh, they look so professional, and I do a little smile to myself.
Do them
A little
myself.
chuckle. Because I get your instructions out every time.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit silly, because I
No,
kind of
you
know
know what you're
what they
doing.
are now.
I've got Chris and Barbara that taught me. They did a right from the start book, and it's a bit like a Bible. It's very basic
nice.
instructions, but when I'm working out like my inset triangles and things like that, always refer back to their book. And
yet
it's
you've
one of those
probably had
things.
that for years
Yeah,
and years and years, and that information's in your head, but it's just
it's having it there, isn't it? It's like a comforter, really. Keeps
absolutely.
you sure.
And if you're an international viewer and you're thinking, oh well, I can't get those instructions sent to me, we have our digital patterns as well, so you can get those. If cushion finishing is something you're interested in, just pop onto the website natashamakes.com, type in cushion finishing with flair, and you'll see there's lots of different options
Lots of
there
things.
as well. And there's something that you will always pull. So if you've got an orphan block that you've made, that lovely block that you've made, and you think, oh, it's beautiful, gorgeous, absolutely hated making that, and I'm never making another one ever again.
Yes, make it into a cushion.
Turn it into a cushion. Rather than it sitting there making you cross when you look at it, thinking, oh, I can't be bothered to make any more of those, it was awful. We've all got them, haven't we,
We
Jane?
have,
A block
we
that we've
have,
just despised. But we're proud of what we've done,
Yeah.
and it just sits there and you just grimace at it. Turn it into a cushion, to gift it, to put it in your house, to
Yep.
be proud of. Do something lovely with
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
It's great. Jane, thank you. It's been a mammoth one. We have Half Me to Heavens tonight. Midnight. And don't forget what Natasha said. Some of these, a lot of them, are fabrics that we've got in a relatively small quantity to go into kits. She's taken a little bit to Half Me to Heaven, but that's it. That's your only opportunity you're going to have to buy those. They won't be going cut to order. She also has Friday deals for you. SJ will be working on those
Yeah,
on
that's some nice
Friday.
things.
Absolutely. The Tilda is selling really fast. So if you love the new hibernation collection, grab hold of that while you can. We have bundles, we have cut to order as well.
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday next week we'll be back. There'll be shows at 10 a.m. each day. You know where we are. You'll see us.
You'll find us.
Jane's got various fabulous things that are in the making, this being one of them. You've got your calendar quilt final block coming up at some point
Yes,
soon
yeah,
as well.
that's not far away.
I know, in the next
Yeah,
couple
because
of
it's
weeks.
October on Sunday.
yeah,
How's
so
that happen?
That
Oh,
should
gosh.
be next week after next, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all going on. We've got lots and lots in the schedule for you. Thank you so much for supporting us. We are a very small business, and your purchases make all the difference to keep us here on your screens, because we don't get paid for this bit.
No.
We don't. But we are very grateful. We love to have you with us, and we will see you on Monday at 10 a.m. Thank you very much. Take care. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.